So the question of the day is to smear or not to smear? Let's find out.
I love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me.
It's lunchtime. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Lunchtime with the Clydesdale.
I know that
guy. Cowboy
is here too. We are here. Man, we got people competing to be in the chat today.
Right?
Paul Kane says he's first when I see third.
Same.
We got Joseph Ramirez, we got Frida, we got Craig, we got Mike DeVito. Dude, my mind is all over the place this week. It's been like, the Bears are really good, then the season ends and you go through this thing. And now like all they're talking about is a stadium and whether it's going to be in Indiana or Illinois. And it looks like it's all coming to a head at the end of this month.
Oh,
basically Illinois and Arlington Heights is the girl that you've been like lusting after for like 3 years, right?
Right.
And you've been doing all the things and you bought her nice things and you bought 300 acres of land and you've been talking nice and sweet to her and her mom and dad won't let her date you. And then this girl down south comes in and says, we got it all. We'll cook you every meal. We'll give you massages after work. We will rub your feet and you won't have to pay a thing. And you can keep that $2 billion in your pocket that you were going to use to build the stadium. We'll build it for you and then just lease it to you for 35 years and it'll become yours then.
It's kind of hard to argue with, ain't it?
It is. But like the Bears owners don't want to move to Indiana.
Yeah, well, I imagine not. They're the Chicago Bears.
But like they've basically told the Illinois legislator, like there's one thing we need. We need to know what our taxes are going to be after we build this huge structure in your state. We just need to know what the taxes are. If you can tell us that by the end of the month, we're staying in Illinois. If you can't, we're going to go hang out with the other girl. And it's utterly crazy. Yeah. So, and then the other thing, I actually watched part of the Royal Rumble for the first time in like probably 20 years, right? When I was a kid, the Royal Rumble was the coolest event in wrestling because you didn't know who was in it until they showed up every 2 minutes and showed up in the ring. And I remember as a kid, like, oh my gosh, it's Coco Beware, or, oh my, like the craziest wrestlers out of the. And so I watched the women's version, and it was held in Saudi Arabia. So all the women had to wear full pants and full sleeve shirts.
Jesus.
Which is crazy. But then the stands, what they thought was a cool thing, they put an LED light over every seat in the stadium. And so when people came down, like, and the screen went to who it was and the light board, all the seats lit up in the same colors, and they for the whole arena for this really cool effect. But when they weren't on, they were this white thing. And when you looked at the stands, it looked like nobody was there.
That's wild.
Even though it was sold out, it looked like nobody was there at all. It was such a bad look on TV. And I'm thinking, so CrossFit's not the only one with the image issue when you're showing the stands empty.
No, I would imagine not.
Oh, man.
That's a lot.
Jake flown away for the weekend for Coaches Congress and forgotten his slippers. I'm so annoyed. and now that I'm old, right? I'm in my 50s. My feet being comfortable is like the most important thing on my body. And I was just thinking to myself this morning, I need a new set of slippers because I hate the ones I have.
I don't have slippers, but I am barefoot in my house from the time I get home until the time the time I wake up in the morning. I'm like no socks, no nothing. Like my feet need to be free.
Now walking around a hotel room with nothing on my feet, that ain't no. Ugh.
That's questionable at best.
Yeah, that's a rough
Questionable at best. I usually, if I'm in a hotel room, I usually have at the very least like a pair of Hey Dudes on, just kind of moving around the room, just because it's a hotel room. Like you don't know who was murdered there before you got there.
Jake might be pregnant. Well, congratulations, man.
You just had a baby, so like should be just about the right amount of time.
Shay says slippers for life any time of the year. Mark Moss, I'm basically Rich Froning now. I've got the Vivo barefoot shoes.
Good job, Mark.
Vivo.
Give me the Vivo barefoot shoes.
Yeah.
I couldn't wear them. There's no way. You got to
I'm actually looking into purchasing some new slippers myself.
You're looking into it. You're like price shopping and
dude, that is me for everything. I am not an impulse buy guy. Like I look like that Lego RV of Breaking Bad, right?
Yeah.
I looked at that for 3 months before I purchased it. No kidding.
As a matter of fact, because my son bought his baby sister a Lego, the two girls from Wicked. So the Wicked Witch and the whatever her name is, Glinda, like a little set where you actually got to build them each. And she did that last night, dude, and was like all the way up in it. And she finished it like right before she went to bed, and she was so proud of herself and whatnot. And I said, know somebody else who's all up into that kind of stuff.
Mark Phillips, I use the faux fur line Crocs. I can't tell if that makes me fancy or lame.
Fancy.
Yeah, I think I'd like those.
Absolutely.
I think that might be a solution. Mark likes the Vivo barefoots, but he had to use his kids' college fund to pay for them. Yeah, gosh, everything's so expensive these days.
I'm tired of buying stuff.
Really fancy. She's got heated floors.
Yeah, that's what I was like freaking out about, dude. Heated floors, man.
Yeah, my in-laws, they've built all their own homes, and they put like tubing into the floor.
Yeah,
and they pour it like the concrete, and then it has water that goes through it that they hook up to their wood burning stove, and then the steam goes through that hose, so all of their floors are warm.
I would imagine that's got to heat up the whole house too. I mean,
yeah,
they can't not.
Yeah.
But that'd be nice, walking on this nice, warm wooden floor. The wood-burning stove part is kind of interesting. I was expecting to hear you say like a tankless water heater, but not wood-burning stove. That's a new one on me.
Yeah, it's dude.
They live in the 1930s. Is that when
that is where they live. They use their flux capacitors. They went to 1930. They live on. My brother-in-law is a milk farmer.
Oh, okay.
Like it is truly like the middle of nowhere.
All righty then.
Jay Birch says he's been a member of this channel for 30 months.
Almost 3 years, baby.
Dude, that's awesome. You and Kenneth the Lap were like the original too. Mark Moss, I walk barefoot almost anywhere, draw the line at porter potties. Ooh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, thank you.
Shay, heated floors are a necessity in Canada, especially in bathrooms.
That's why I don't live in Canada.
Same in Sweden.
Yeah.
Sweden.
No, thank you.
Speaking of Canada, you know, I talked about the other day how my high school had this gold shirt test, and we compared it to the man test.
Right.
And I got so many responses from Canadians saying that was a thing in their elementary schools, that you would take this fitness test, and you got like there was a gold standard, a blue standard, different things. And it really was motivating for kids and their fitness as they were growing up. And I think that's been lost.
I grew up in the 80s, and we didn't do any of that through elementary, or we had PE every day.
Yeah.
But we didn't have like a presidential physics or any of that, like any kind of standards or whatever. We just had PE, and then you went on about your business or you played sports. There wasn't no.
When I get back together with high school friends, we still talk about the gold test. I mean, because one of them was you had to tread water for an hour to get the gold level. So you literally had to come in before school started and go in the school pool, and you had to tread water for an hour. And once you achieve gold level at any of the tests, you never had to take that test again.
They were like, "You're good."
Yeah. And like the tread water one was a big one because like that, it was time consuming.
Yeah.
Right. And
hour. I don't know if I could tread water for an hour today.
Yeah, I mean, I was swimming then, so like it was not even a thing for me.
Right.
And literally, all it is you just can't touch the wall, right, or touch the floor. If you do, your time is done. So I mean, I could even swim like little laps and not. It wasn't hard for me, but there were a lot of kids that couldn't even get like the 5-minute blue test, right, which was the lowest level.
I am not buoyant. I don't float. So like that probably be working against me because I would have to be like actually treading water the whole time.
Yeah, Jay Birch, if you actually like used a gator for buoyancy, you were disqualified as well.
Oh, there's no pool. There was no pool at my school anyway. So
it was cool how many people responded that they had something similar. One person responded that they used the presidential physical fitness test and actually created fitness teams at their school. So nice. It looks like a lot of that stuff was done early on. And then of course we talked to Carolyn's Monday night about she owns an affiliate at her school.
Yeah, I remember that.
And so like she teaches CrossFit as phys ed at her school. But the complication of that is like if you want people to get involved in the open, and their March break is what they call spring break, is right in the middle of the open. So she can't do it with her kids because she loses them for a week.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
But I would say the benefits far outweigh the fact that they can't do the open.
Oh, yeah. But it would be cool to get kids at that age to sign up for the open and become like, this is the thing you do every year at 14, 15, 16. And then they do that for the rest of their lives, right? Get them in early.
Get them in early, get them in young, get them fit, baby. Get them building habits, man, because that's the biggest thing I try to instill in people all the time. You know, especially new people that come up and they do a workout and they feel good or whatever. And, you know, it's a couple months in, they're, slogging through because they want to be able to do more stuff, right? They want to go farther. They want to go faster. And hey, man, keep showing up.
Yeah.
Keep showing up. The number one habit you need to have is to show up to this place once a day for an hour. And I guarantee you it's gonna pay off.
Yeah, I think the hardest thing for me is I was in a sport every season. All 4 seasons I played a sport. And when I graduated and then I swam in college briefly and then I quit that, I didn't know how to just train. I only knew how to train for something.
Right.
Right. And so like I just didn't know. I didn't know what to do. So when all that was over, like I was lost. I would go to the gym and I would hop on a treadmill but I didn't really know what I was doing because I trained differently for football than I did for swimming. Like football was high weights, low reps. Swimming was low weights, high reps. Like, so my whole like thing was discombobulated when I was done and I didn't know where to go. And there was no CrossFit in 1989.
No, sir.
So I didn't have a gym to go to like teach me this is how you train at all.
Right.
Right.
No, and even global gyms back then were still people just in there doing back buys and tries, and I mean it was bodybuilding type shit, right? All
Yeah,
through
I was doing the treadmill or the elliptical or the Stairmaster, and then I would hop on the bench. I probably avoided squats at the time. I maybe do some curls.
curls for the girls, baby. Got to get it in.
How I'm saying it is how willy-nilly I went about it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Dude, before I started CrossFit, when I was at the global gym, I would literally go in, I would run maybe 2 miles or so on a treadmill, I guess, just to get myself going. And then I would literally go and see what machines were open, and I would go do whatever those were. And then I would make some stuff up, and then I would go to work.
Yeah.
That was it.
Jay Birch says it was called hauling hay and digging post holes, not cross. See, I did that for a summer too. But I didn't look at that as training, right? And then I moved to college, and then I really had no clue. Like, you have access to this really nice facility in this gym, but what do I do there?
Yeah. A lot of the kids, dude, LSU has a ridiculous student center, like a fitness center. They don't call it a lazy river, but it's a lazy river outside. Spells out LSU, right? You can get in and like to spend time outside, whatnot. The workout facility inside is world class, period. Like anything you can imagine, there's a functional fitness space. I know it because my son goes there, right? And I'm like, how many people use it? And he was like, very, very few. And it's because they have no idea what to do. Like they got all this stuff there and it's shiny and it's brand new and whatnot, but very few of them go in there with any kind of, because there's no guidance. They're just like, here's the keys. Go for it. Do whatever you want to do.
Well, let's get into some of the topics of the day. Yesterday at the end of the show, we bled over into the CrossFit Games podcast, Sport of Fitness podcast. And so at that, they actually announced who was doing 26.1. So let's show that. This is on the Games Instagram channel. If you did not see it.
The CrossFit Games Open starts now. Harper is the fittest man on earth. 570 pounds. So impressive by Colton Mertens. Dallin Pepper trying to keep pace. Unbelievable. Austin Hatfield takes the win by 1 second. The quest is about to begin. Are you ready?
So that is who is doing 26.1. Any initial thoughts on that?
Never bet against Colton Mertens. Actually, my initial thoughts was that it was very well produced. Like I like the graphics. I like the Top Gun looking graphics and whatnot. Like the whole thing was very, very slickly put together. But never bet against Colton Mertens would be my first, especially on the first workout for the Open. Because you know it's going to be more than likely going to be some sort of motor test, probably going to have some burpees in it, something along those lines. And I'm not betting against him. I wouldn't. There's no way.
So here was my initial thought. They got all the trash talkers in one building at one time for the first Open announcement.
Holy smokes, yes.
Alan Pepper has been calling out Austin Hatfield left and right in the last few weeks. If you did not see his 5 favorite people to compete with and 5 people he hates to compete with, he calls out Austin Hatfield hard, right? Jason and Dallin have been ripping on each other nonstop for 2 years.
For 2 years now, yeah.
And Colton shreds everybody equally all over the place, right? And Austin talks trash too. The problem is Austin hasn't backed it up yet.
Colton comes out there and says, these nerds knew I was fixing to come out there. Everybody else was competing for second place. Like he says that on camera.
Well, I don't know if you saw yesterday. I think he said like, I hope you believe in God because, or it was something like he gave you a nightmare week 1 by pitting you against me or something like something to that effect. It's completely insane. And I think it is what we need to lean into if you want the sport to grow.
Yes.
We've talked about that on this show a ton. That
Absolutely.
trash talk, smack talk, the rivalries are important to the sport.
Run it.
And Dallin has figured that out by his call outs and Dallin has upped his game 500% in the last 2 months on his YouTube channel. This is what I made. This is how I made it. This is who I like. This is who I don't like. And it's all done with like a comedic element that makes it lovable instead of that you're like, this guy's a dick.
It feels authentic, right? It feels like he's just being himself. Like, and I would venture to say that it probably has a whole lot to do with his wife, who is actually in charge of his social media, and telling him probably what to say, but not necessarily how to say it. Like, hey, this is what we're going to do. And he just buys in and it's working.
It's freaking awesome.
I agree.
And Jason has been great with the like, hey, get out of my DMs, that whole bit, get out off my feed, that whole bit. Jaber says Austin is not a good trash talker. He's just a smart ass. Yeah. And you know, Dallin called him out in the last video. Like he just repeats movie lines. And he shows the movie line, then Austin saying it. And you have to see it. It's done really, really well.
Again, good.
Frida said they look like they went for the 80s superhero comic book look. Everybody's copying off of me, Frida. I know. Just kidding.
Well, here's the thing. So like everything old is new again, right? Everything comes in cyclical cycles, blah, blah, whatever. You just watched the Wrecking Crew movie. What did you say it gave you? 80s
action movie.
Right?
Yep.
The new Running Man. Have you seen it?
Yep.
Same thing, right? Like super ridiculous, over the top action, one-liners. Everybody's cussing the entire time, just like it was in 1985, whatever. So if we're leaning into all of that, and we're getting like that was a great time, a fun time for like any kind of media stuff and whatnot. Like it was good, entertaining stuff. And if that's what we're kind of leaning into as far as this kind of stuff is concerned, then good, because holy smokes, it's fun and it's entertaining and it's going to capture people's imagination and make them want to kind of pay attention more because of that.
Yeah, I agree. I wanted to get your take on the Running Man, but Jay Birch is asking me don't spoil anything. So,
that's fine.
So we'll talk.
I will say this: I enjoyed the shit out of it.
I did too, but I felt like my wife and I watched it together. I remember vividly the original.
Oh yeah, same.
She does not, and so I knew like the differences between the two. And there were some things I liked in the original better than I liked in the new one, and some things I liked in the new one better than the original. But I still enjoyed both very, very much.
They're two very, very similar but very different movies.
She was very like, I don't get this or I don't get that. And so because I saw the original, I could fill in the blanks better, I think.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense. I don't.
Sure.
And that's the only reason I could think like that I got it and she didn't, because she didn't remember the original.
I mean, it's a great Arnold Schwarzenegger one-liner machine. There's a ton of them in there to watch, and like it's entertaining.
The one thing I will say was way better in the original was Richard Dawson as a game show host was way better.
You were never going to top that.
No, never.
You were never going to top that.
One, because he really was a game show host.
Correct. And he just like, he went 10 times of what his persona was on TV, right? And he just, from the Family Feud to like taking it to its logical conclusion, if that somebody like had that much power, he just went all the way there. I will say this, the dude that they got who's hosting it now, I think he did a fantastic job. He really did, but he is no Richard Dawson, and he never will be.
But he was an actor playing a game show host.
Correct. That's what I'm saying.
Dawson was a game show host playing himself.
Playing a game show host, right.
Right.
No, but no, I 100%. I enjoyed the shit out of it. I'm going to watch it again.
And Jay Birch, just to demonstrate how old he is, he liked Richard Dawson and Hogan's Heroes. We all did. We all did Jay Birch.
Oh,
So that is the opening 26.1. I think that's great. I think we're off to a great start. I think that's a great way to kick it off. And I think that the vibe on that reel is it is sponsored by the Air National Guard. It gives it that Top Gun feel. They're trying to, lean into that, which is cool with me.
yeah, to play it up.
So then when we came on live, I said to smear or not to smear.
Oh yeah, we did.
I'm just going to talk about this, and as we go through it, I'll decide whether it becomes smear or no smear. But the WFP announced more signings yesterday.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you saw that.
I did not.
And so on their Instagram, here it is. There's BKG,
Okay.
Chris Ibarra,
Oh, I did see Ibarra.
Ty Jenkins, Enola Kai, and Tudor Magda. And those are added to the original group, which was Pat Vellner, Nate Ackerman, Jennifer Muir, Jack Farlow, Emily Rolfe, Yella Hosta, Travis Mayer, Lydia Fish, Roman Krenikoff, Emma Tall, Andrea Solberg, Sydney Mikulishin, Oda Lundvenkim, Guy Majeros, and Chandler Smith. So what I wanted to do is show the leaderboard and see where the holes are. Because when they're announced on Instagram, you can see who signed, but we don't know who isn't signing.
Right.
Right. And I'm sure there are more that have signed we don't know about yet, because James has said he's doing it and he did not appear on that Instagram post. Right. So here's the WFP leaderboard from the end of the tour season last year. James says he's doing it, but then we have Dallin Pepper, Ricky Garrard, Justin Medeiros not on the list. Then you have Roman and Guy and Tudor and Chandler. They're all there. Yona was not. We have Enola Kai and Jack. They signed. Mertens not on the list yet. Hosta, Vellner, and Mayer signed. And then we have Adler not on the list. Ty Jenkins on the list. BKG on the list, Ibarra on the list, and Ackerman on the list. So when you get down into this like 10 through 20, it's most of them have signed. But up at the top is where we're missing some people. And we don't know how they're going to handle that. They haven't announced if Dallin says no, does Ricky move up to 2? And does he get the number 2 money? And
An excellent question.
and vice versa, right? Or do you have 20 and if only 15 sign, then the other 5 positions don't go to anyone and the money just goes back in the pot?
I would like to know what their contingency plan is, to be honest with you. Just out of curiosity, because I have no dog in this fight whatsoever. But I would like to know what their contingency plan is, just to see if they actually even have one or if they're just flying by the seat of their pants at this point, because I don't think they were expecting that many people to not re-up.
So the women's side is worse. So when we look at the women's side, we have no Laura, no Amy, no Emma, no Lucy, no Ariel.
Right.
Emma Tall is the first sign. Brooke Wells, retired. Olivia Kerstader, no. Sydney Wells, no. Annika Greer, no. So it's Emma Tall, and then the next person is Andrea Solberg at 11.
It's 2 out of 11 so far. 9.
And then Lydia Fish is signed. Sydney Mikulishin is signed. Emily Rolfe is signed. Danny Spiegel is not on the list. Hannah Black is not on the list. Mano Anganese is not on the list. And then you have Jennifer Muir, Oda, and Ella Wilkinson is not on the list.
Right.
So it is really bare bones who is signed on the women's side.
What was their time frame?
When we were live last week, someone was in the chat and said they had a 10-day window. It has been more than 10 days.
I would say that 10 business days,
But
because
then again, they could change the rules and us not know and give more time or more.
Yeah.
I was watching the spin this morning, And Patrick Clark was in the comments saying that some of the people have officially declined, but was not giving any more answers than that I could see.
He's probably not allowed to, so I can't blame him for that. I'm just wondering, like you said, what's the contingency plan? Because out of the 20 people you just mentioned on the female side, there's only like 7 of them? 6 or 7?
6 or 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
That's not a lot of, and there's no competitor division anymore.
And yet you're going to fill a 50-person roster for every event.
That's a lot.
That's aggressive with what you're seeing at this point. Now, maybe we're jumping the gun and most of these people end up signing, but I don't think that's the case. I think there is going to be a significant group that decide not to do it.
You can only go off of the information that you have, right? And the information that we have right now, it doesn't look great.
Yeah.
It doesn't look great. And then how do you determine, like you just keep going down the list? They didn't go with 50 before, right? How many was that?
30 and 20. So 30 pros, 20 competitors. Basically, what they're saying is we're going to call you all pros now. You all get to compete for the same points.
So even if, that's 50 in and of itself. You still lost, let's say your window shuts right now. You got 7 women that have signed.
Yeah.
Right? So 7 out of, so you still got 43 that haven't, obviously, right? And you didn't send out the rest of those invites yet. Doesn't leave a whole lot of people.
No, and remember, Torch Stop 1, if you made it to Copenhagen, you get a free invite.
Right.
So you don't have to do the qualifier. And they have 5 wild cards. But if only 7 of 20 have signed, that's 13 open spots they have to backfill. So you add the 10 from Copenhagen. Now you're still only at 17. And you have to get to 50?
How many people actually signed up for the qualifier?
I don't think they've even opened it yet. Because I don't think we know. We don't know who's doesn't need to do the qualifier at this point.
Man. I hope they get it together. I mean, again, like we have said a million times, nobody wants to see them fail. It's just very curious to watch.
Frida says, I would not be surprised if Oda signs. She did sign. She is one of the signed athletes. She is one of the 7. But it's crazy. And to be honest, I was thinking about this. Like if I'm Sydney Mikulishin and I've been borderline making the games or not, and I've got guaranteed money, damn right I'm signing.
Why wouldn't you? Be silly not to.
This would pay for my season. And I get to go to these events for free. They pay my money because I'm a signed athlete now. Like, why wouldn't I? If I'm Lydia Fish or Sydney Mikulishin, and it's Hannah Black, if it's iffy if I make the season or not.
And it's a good way to compete against high level competition. So you're going to get some more competition experience under your belt. Like it's a win-win.
Right.
Especially for those fringe athletes. Like, let's go and see what you can do. Like
those are the people that probably need to
should sign. Yeah.
Right. Now, if you're a top 10 games athlete, you've got choices. Like I respect James. He's going to sign up and take the $100,000, guaranteed $100,000, and fit it into a schedule. But a lot of athletes don't want to fit it in. They just want to concentrate on what they want to concentrate on. And
they want to train for what they train for. James can take that, get the guaranteed 100, and then if he does great, good. If he doesn't, he can't lose at that point. The only way he can lose is if he gets hurt doing one of the events and it's bad enough where he can't compete in the game season, because ultimately he wants to win the games.
Will is heading to do a podcast with Rich, so maybe Will can answer some of those questions. Yeah, I'm not optimistic of him answering anything clearly enough so that we understand at this point. I'm sorry.
Maybe he won't be chewing gum this time.
Here's the smear campaign. I should set an alarm. When you surround yourself with yes men, that's why all this stuff goes out without being double checked, without being corrected, like the drug thing. Like, there should be somebody there that is like the people you are calling the smear campaign. You should hire one of them to tell you before it goes out to the public what the hell you've done wrong.
Yeah. Hey, man, this doesn't look great.
But I've heard directly from people that were initially working for WFP, when they gave feedback, were let go.
Which is a...
When you do that, you're setting yourself up for this shit.
100%. Because
you can't see the forest for the trees, because you think you're doing everything right, and you have nobody to double check your work.
Because I'm doing Monster Games qualifiers right now. Before I send my videos and like upload them to Competition Corner, I go back and look at them, because I am my own check at this point. If I have any questions, I get somebody else to look at them for me. Hey, man, can you take a look at this and tell me if you think like these reps look clean or whatever before I upload this? And that's just little me trying to make a, fairly decent sized competition as a master's athlete. I'm not trying to put on this thing where we're giving away millions of dollars.
That's the problem that most people make when they start a business. They start it with all their friends and all the people that agree with them on everything. You need to have naysayers in the room that are willing to step up and tell you, hey, let's look at this again.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to go in a different direction. Did you double check? Last year we had this PR nightmare with cannabinoids. Before we put out the rule book, let's get that shit fixed.
Just make a checklist. Hey, what were the major talking points of last year? Cannabinoids, equipment failures, information questions, right? Stuff that's going out to the public. Okay, cool. Did we address those things? Yes, no, maybe. Okay, what do we need? Then you make a flow chart. It really wouldn't be that hard to do. I just don't understand it.
David Reed asks or says, is it a win if it impacts your pursuit of being the fittest on earth? It's a win for those people who are not ready to be the fittest on earth.
Correct. Fringe athletes.
There are a group of athletes who are borderline games athletes that are your 20 to 30 place finishers at the games, who are trying to get more competitive experience, who are trying to develop themselves into somebody who can compete. You get to do it on somebody else's dime if you can get one of these pro cards. And it's pretty decent competition. You can learn your game, and you don't have to worry about finding money to pay for everything. And a lot of these level athletes aren't getting the sponsorships that a Dallin Pepper or an Emma Lawson are getting and can fund themselves through the season. They need help. And this is a way for them to do it and not have to worry about the financial aspect of the season. But you have to be realistic and look in the mirror and say, I need a year of development before I can go for this big goal. And it doesn't mean you don't do the open. It doesn't mean you don't try to compete and get to the games. It just means that you know that there's some development that you need in your game. And so you're going to take some time to look at that.
It's an opportunity that they're literally handing to you. And if you look at it from the right perspective and go, I can take these people's money, let them get me to the competition, compete at the competition, pay me for being there. And then I got more experience. There's money in my pocket. That's one less thing I have to worry about trying to get a sponsor, trying to book plane tickets, all this other nonsense. It takes some stuff off of their plate. And like you said, especially the people who are hungry, who are trying to make those game spots. You make it or you don't, right? But if you don't, you still have opportunities to compete at a high level. And they're paying you for it. They're flying you to these places. Like, as long as you wear a WFP shirt, you can fly wherever you want to go.
Well, the pro card athletes don't even have to wear anything
Right.
on their flight, right? They've earned that as part of their pro card. Chattanooga, that's a culture problem where dissenters are not only discouraged, they're silenced by firing them. No one's speaking up now. And that is, I think, the biggest flaw that the WFP has right now. They have nobody to check them before they release the stuff.
No.
Because it was a group of people that were mad as hell, and they were going to take on CrossFit, and they were going to create something new, something they always thought would be better. And that group of people all thought the same way. They didn't bring anybody with them that might be a dissenter.
The problem is that's when you're making decisions based off of emotion instead of logic. Because the rage, the anger, the whatever that you had is eventually going to fade. You can't hold on to that forever because it's going to poison you. And then you're left with whatever you're left with. And now you're just making decisions based off of what? Because you have no other, you're in an echo chamber. If you fire the people that tell you, hey man, this is probably not a good idea, and here's why, and they're just presenting it to you. They're not saying you're an idiot and this is why. They're saying, hey man, look, this needs to be fixed. And you go, no, it doesn't. And you just run them off. Then you're setting a standard for everybody else that works there. Because they go, well, they just fired Scott because he told them it probably wasn't a good idea to do X, Y, Z. Well, I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to go ahead and hold on to my money at that point. You know, hold on to my job. I want to keep working here and kind of see where it goes. Ride this ship all the way to the bottom. You know, I don't understand it.
Jenny says, Will said he changed the drug policy back in March, but it took almost a year to actually update the drug policy. And when Spin points it out, it's crazy. Yeah. Listen, I tried to defend them last year when it came out because the organization I work for, the document always lags the policy for a month, 2 months, 6 months, right? It's just where I work. I work for government. Everything takes forever to update. But when a full year comes and you put out the new rule book and you don't go, it was one of your biggest PR nightmares from the year before. Why nobody went in and said, hey, did we get that shit fixed before we put it out? That's what's ridiculous. That's what I cannot fathom.
Yeah.
Frida, true. Just reacting to stuff will never work when you're in a leading position. The minute they got called out because the paperwork wasn't updated, they should have had someone in there fixing that document.
I can edit a Word document.
Doesn't happen again.
I know how to edit a Word document. I'm just throwing that out there.
Well, it's a Google document, which is even crazier because it's online and it shows when updates are made. It's the old saying, like, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. Anybody who's buying into this still, shame on you, because they're showing that they're making the same mistake over and over and over. They're not even correcting the mistakes they made last year. And then we get a correction 24 hours later. Why did it take 24 hours to delete a line? The minute it went out wrong and you knew it should have been done in 5 minutes. It was deleting a line out of the rule book.
Look.
Delete, 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 delete. It's not hard.
And then you just move on. You save that now that it's deleted. It's your IT tip of the day, folks. Save that now that it's deleted. And now you have an updated document and you're
then
good.
You take the press release and you say correction at the top. We removed cannabinoids from the drug list. Done.
Taken care of. Taken care of.
It takes 3 seconds. Exactly. Joseph Ramirez, highlight delete is a complicated task. again, it all comes down to you're surrounding yourself with like-minded people and all yes men. And because of that, yes men, yes women, it's not gender specific. It is, but you're surrounding yourself with all the same thought.
Yeah.
And because you're in that same thought, nobody can call each other out. And now then because of that, you're making the same effing mistakes you made last year.
The what's the quote? The definition of insanity is doing the exact same thing
over and over again and expecting different
expecting a different result. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Deep breath.
Yeah. Look.
So I guess we went smear instead of not smear.
Woo-sa. Woo-sa.
All right. I read some bad news today. If you're a Saghafi fan,
I
wanted to share this. Just came out this morning, I think. She wrote a post on Instagram saying she hated to share this, but she is not doing the 2026 CrossFit Games season because she is injured. If you watched Copenhagen in the WFP, she was unable to do some of the events. It was due to, I'm going to go to the injury specifically.
Start right there.
Well, this is talking about the WFP. The injury was,
oh yeah,
I didn't know it was the right decision, so I decided to compete. MRI revealed a partial thickness tear of the
supraspinatus
rotator cuff tendon and a slap tear of the left shoulder.
Yeah.
So she is now in the process of rehabbing. However, what is cool is she still signed up for the Open.
Yeah.
And she's going to do the Open as part of her community and be humble about it and know what she can and can't do. And she said probably scale some of it. But she's going to sign up for the Open and do it, which I thought was a really cool statement in all of this. She says here, the next time I compete, we're making sure that we are strong, healthy, and most importantly, competing through a weekend safely. This will be my first season in 7 years that I will not be making the chase to get back to the CrossFit Games, and it's exposed me emotionally and spiritually in more ways than I ever expected. I'm hopeful that it'll be an incredible year of new growth and opportunities and reconnect. I will still be taking part in the CrossFit Games Open with my community, testing what I can and keeping humility in the things that I might require scaling. Just because we are starting the season different doesn't mean we can't make it beautiful. So I thought it was a cool way to kind of wrap it up and end it up, that she made it perfectly clear that while she cannot compete to get to the games, she is going to sign up for the Open and still do it with her community, which I thought was super, super cool.
God bless her, dude. I can't imagine, right? Yeah. Her entire identity, self, whatever you want to call it, I say entire, professional identity is tied up in making the games and trying to be the fittest on earth. And then now you got to take a year off. And she's in her prime, dude. Like, she is fit. Several T's.
Last year, she was fitter than she's ever been.
Absolutely.
She was performing in ways that she had never performed in the past. So and
that's got to be heartbreaking for her. I can't imagine.
As someone that I know personally and have grown to like love, she is amazing. I just want her to be good through this. Listen, I'm doing the Open differently this year. I don't know what I'm going to be capable of. I'm going through all of this stuff in my nose and my breathing, but I'm going to do it. I signed up. I'm going to do it. And I need to be humble like her and realize there are just things I'm not going to be able to do. But I'll do the best I can with what I got.
That's all you can do. Chase did the same thing a couple of years ago when he had his shoulder surgery. He signed up and he did everything in the one-armed category, whatever it was for adaptive. Dude, you remember that? Like, it was fun to follow along and see. So like you do what you can with what you have.
Yeah.
Even if you have both good working arms and both good, like everything, you're still working with what you got. It doesn't matter, right? That's the beautiful thing about CrossFit is that you get out what you put in.
Yeah.
So you're gonna work with what you got no matter what. And bless her for, even though, she might not be able to do the stuff she wants to do, but she's gonna do whatever she can do. That's a beautiful way to look at it. Good for her.
I don't know how long it's been since I've shared this story, but when I was first into the media and there was a lot of times I didn't feel I belonged in the media. I jumped in and did whatever. And we were at the games. Fee was on the demo team. And we got access to go out to the pit for the first time ever. And so I go down under the Coliseum in Madison, and I'm looking around and there's all these games athletes, the demo team sitting on some sandbags, and I'm going out to the pit, and I imposter syndrome is hitting me very, very hard.
Understand.
And Fee comes running over and jumps up and gives me a big hug and was like, "I'm so glad to see you." And that it just took all that imposter syndrome away.
Yeah.
Like she said, "Hey, I'm so glad to see you. You belong here." And it just took all the rest of it away. And because of that, like, I know Fee signed that letter and all that kind of stuff, but I will always have a special place in my heart because she did that for me. And she was the first person to come out and talk to Dave, and she did all that stuff. She did the open last year. She did not sit out the season. And so I give her credit for all that too.
Yeah, I could have said it any better. Yeah, she signed a letter and then came back out and said she regretted the signing the letter and talked to Dave. And like, she's about as real as it gets, dude.
Yeah.
About as real as it gets.
So yeah, hopefully she will find her way through the season and we'll see her back and better than ever next year. The last thing, and again, it'll probably be more of a conversation for tomorrow because we're really going long. The Olympics start tomorrow. My question to everybody, and think about this over the next day, and we'll talk about it tomorrow. Are you hyped for the Olympics?
I am jazzed for the Olympics, Scott.
You are jet. Jenny says Luca finished 23rd overall. They just announced he signed, so that's 3 who must have declined at a minimum. Let's add at a minimum.
At a minimum,
3.
yeah. Okay. I'll put it to you like this, Scott. Before as far as the Olympics is concerned, last night I went on YouTube TV, went to my recording, whatever you want to call it. I set all of the curling to record because me and my wife watch curling like it's our job. All of the snowboard stuff because that stuff's cool to watch. And then whatever else we see that might catch our fancy, we might add that to it later on. But it starts today. Like there's curling going on today. The opening ceremony is just tomorrow.
Yeah. When I was a kid, like I remember being even more hyped, right? One, my main sport was an Olympic sport. So the Summer Olympics were very big for me.
Hell yeah.
But I find now that like I get Olympic fatigue in week 2, where like I get hyped that I get to see the stuff I don't normally see. Like I do like curling. I do like the half pipe. I do like the when the snowboarders are going down the hill at 500 miles an hour, jumping off of houses and all that stuff. I love downhill skiing. And so I get into like all the new stuff that I don't normally see. But I find myself as I get older, more second week fatigue.
Yeah. But the new wears off, right? Cool, curling. And you watch like 4 matches and you're like, all right, that's probably enough of that. And then the snowboarding for me is a little bit easier to get into because various people doing various different tricks and whatnot. I mean, the scoring is a lot more subjective, right? It's kind of, hey, what can you do? What can't you do? The racing obviously is objective because it's just how fast can you get down the side of this mountain. I never understood the luge because you're literally just on a sled basically and just going down this ice chute, and
It's the skeleton where you're going head first that really boggles my mind.
But I mean, you
That's
could
what we did every day as a kid, though, like going down the side hill.
You could tie a dead person to a luge, and they'd probably still do pretty good, right? Because you just sling them down the thing and call it.
Yeah, I do think there's some steering.
Maybe, maybe. But even that, so that's kind of fun to watch. But yeah, I get it. Like after like the second week, maybe sometime around the third, you're like, okay.
Anyway, we'll talk about this more tomorrow. Chattanooga grew up in Alaska and has a special love for the Olympics. I want to go back to a little bit of the Fee stuff, and then we'll call it a day. Fee was cool as hell at the games. She took a few minutes several times throughout that weekend to say, hey, ask if we were enjoying everything. She just is that person. Chattanooga, 100% how you handle something you regret. So yeah, exactly. And Ortega asks their steering. Come on. Ortega, you've never been on a runner sled in your life. Anyway, with that, we'll talk about more Olympics tomorrow. We'll talk about more of all this WFP stuff. I'm sure they're releasing more signees, and we'll get a better picture as to where they stand. How the hell they're getting 50? How the hell they're getting 50? I have no idea. But we'll see.
I am curious to find out, though.
With that, man, I took my Thirdzy last night. It took me literally like 10 seconds to fall out. I was so tired last night. When I took it out, I went. I did not wake up until this morning. It was great.
My sleep stats from last night were fantastic as well. Like over an hour of deep, like an hour and a half of REM sleep, which is amazing in and of itself. Did not have to get up to go pee in the middle of the night, which is always a plus.
Yeah. Use code Jazzy at checkout, get 15% off your order, and go to thirdzy.com/Jazzy. With that, Ortega was on a bobsled once, and he was scared as F. People also want to hear how your Monster Games is going tomorrow, so we'll put that on the docket if you're here. Funny to hear Corey talk about winter sports. Have you seen snow? In the last 2 years?
We got over a foot last year. I mean, just once, and but it lasted for about a week before it actually finally all melted away.
So with that, guys, thank you so much for jumping on today. Even got a little mini smear campaign riff out of the deal. With that, we will check everybody tomorrow. See everybody then on lunch with the Clydesdale. Bye.